Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the weekly comic book roundup. We're going to get started on the last of these Marvel books, so we'll kick things off with Star Wars number 28. Where we left off, an Imperial scientist and his wife, who were also Crimson Dawn agents, had escaped from the facility they were working at, stealing a shuttle in the process, and absconding with their children. And eventually, the shuttle had crashed on. They crashed the shuttle on Coruscant. Not, however, while escaping, they managed to send a message out on one of the communications bands used by the rebellion. What were these two scientists working on? Or what were these two working on? The second Death Star. Luke, while most of the Alliance intelligence seems to think it's nothing special to go after, just the message in general. They don't say they're working on the second Death Star. Luke has a feeling that maybe it is worth looking into. So a mission is planned out to rescue the scientists, or to rescue these folks. In the bowels of Coruscant, though, Imperial Coruscant security is en route, so the father goes and gets the survival kit out of the shuttle, as well as sets a self-destruct, and they begin running. To convince General Syndulla that Luke should go on the mission, he uses a Jedi mind trick on one of the other Alliance intelligence people, and that convinces them. Upon arriving on Coruscant, Luke is outfitted with an Imperial uniform, and one of the other intelligence operatives states that actually Luke looks pretty good in black. But they managed to track down the family. And Luke manages to calm them, but some security operatives show up, and while it's too much for Luke to mind trick all of them at once, well, he does manage to deal with them using some of the denizens living in, well, the Coruscant sewers. They're brought to the fleet, and the Alliance learns that yes, they're working on it. The Empire is working on a second Death Star. Well, Mothma's thought is that, well, they destroyed one, so let's get to work. That is where the issue ends. I'm going to try to avoid two terms, but this I have been saying for the last few months about the Star Wars comic. But yeah, it's a good issue. I like that they're setting up the showing how the plans for second Death Star made it to the rebellion. For all we knew from Return of the Jedi is that many Bothans died. So, anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got the Star Wars Visions one-shot. So, Star Wars Visions was a group of shorts that are streaming on Disney Plus. One of which, simply called The Ronin. This This one shot is a a prequel of sorts to that. So explain that before the Ronin and his droid encountered the Sith in a small village, the two wanderers had a different type of encounter in the snowy mountains. So the Ronin is traveling through the mountains with his droid. And it seems a group of soldiers have come upon him, and or rather, it's not the Ronin they come upon, but rather the Sith. They attack him, and he fights back. His droid having a kind of a miniature walker of sorts to utilize. But the Sith and his droid wipe out take the soldiers out. Later he's at a hot springs when the Ronin arrives with his own droid. The Ronin joins the Sith. They share some sake, and they speak vaguely of their pasts, with the Ronin explaining he used to be a shogun, and there was a day he woke up, he had a bad feeling. It was a sunny day, but he was hit by what seemed like lightning. The impact made him fall from the top of a tower. He survived, but lost his sight. And he saw a vision of the father, telling him to go to the planet Sakhalin and the temple of Alujoji. The truth awaits there. So, that's where the Ronin is heading. The Sith droid, meanwhile, while the Ronin and the Sith are in the hot springs, the Ronin's droid is playing dice, apparently, with a group of Ewoks. But the Ronin mentions there's a nice casino at the other side of the mountain, and he'd love to go take a sip there, but apparently it's closed because of a hassle. 20 of the owner's minions went out to fight, but only one came back. The survivors said they were beaten by a man with a red lightsaber. So the two travelers continue on until they part ways. When they both realize, but the Sith realizes the Ronin is a Jedi, and the two of them have a brief duel that results in neither one injured, and they both leave, going their own separate ways, and that is where the issue ends. I'm definitely gonna have to watch Visions just to see the rest of the story. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Daredevil number 4. Where we left off, Daredevil was Matt Murdock was kind of just shutting down his life in Hell's Kitchen before joining Elektra, forming the Fist. On the helicopter, he's there with he's on the helicopter with Cole North and Foggy Nelson, and Cole asks why Foggy, and Daredevil says that Cole's there to keep him out of trouble. Foggy's there to help him get out of trouble. But they arrive, and well, suffice to say that Daredevil's not happy that Stick's there, but Stick is the one who found the text on the fist, so he gets to see everything through. Also present is Dr. Leonard Sampson, aka Doc Sasquatch. Didn't realize that Sampson had become Sasquatch, but I guess that would explain a bit from that that Gamma Flight miniseries a while back. But privately, Matt tells Elektra and Stick that he met Aka and that the prophecies were right and the hand has a new fist of the beast, Frank Castle. But Stick explains there's more to the text to the prophecies than Aka's aware. So the fist and all its powers stem from dual beasts, a king and a queen. Aka thinks she's so smart, but her not knowing is how they're going to win. Which is why, and Stick goes on to explain that's why Daredevil, or why Matt and Elektra exist. To push back hell. They'll be the king and queen of the fists if they survive the ceremony. Cole gets a little bit of hassle from some of the others there. And the next morning, Foggy bids Matt farewell as he and Elektra go to undertake the ceremony. They arrive in a cave where the ghosts of the souls of the Hand's dead reside, and the two of them take on said souls. They're interspersed with Foggy dealing with, or not Foggy, but Cole dealing with one of the other members of or other recruits. And successfully dealing with them. But Matt and Elektra survive their trial and are then pronounced, are named, and also vow to relinquish their old life, the way of the world below for the world above, for the strength of a hand looking inward, for the fist. And so Stick declares them king and queen of the reformed fist, and husband and wife. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting. I think I'm most looking forward to with Daredevil is just seeing how the collision course between Matt and Elektra and Frank Castle it goes. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Ghost Rider number 7. Where we left off, Wolverine had managed to excise the spiritual tumor from Johnny Blaze, which seemed to be causing some disruption between Johnny and the Rider. However, a dead man in the growth finds the remains of a man who was killed at the tavern that Logan and Johnny were at. They become something else. Somewhere in Colorado, Johnny's having a cup of coffee in the morning, and trying to pull himself to get back together. Pouring his coffee is none other than Talia Warroad. But Johnny sits down pays for his coffee back at the Lumberjack Tavern. creature that arose names itself Exhaust. And is sent off and sends a drone of itself out after Johnny. Shortly after, a little while after the coffee, Johnny stops at a motel and passes out, not knowing why he's something tired with all the coffee he drank. So Leah manages to slip into his room and handcuffs him to the bed, and wants to know just what's going on with him. And going over basically his past, that he used to be the king of hell, and every king is beloved and every king is hated. And Blackheart especially hated him, especially because, well, Blackheart, being the son of Mephisto, thought the crown was his. And we find out just how it was that Johnny was able to, or that Johnny got trapped in the small town where he had been basically held prisoner for so long. When he was with what he thought was Roxanne, she asked, basically make his spirit hers, and he agreed, and well. 2 days later, Johnny wakes up in the hotel. Talia kind of explains that what all she's doing, and also that she's looking for a partner. And apparently, though, she claims they've got work to do. Back at Hell's Backbone, Exhaust arrives while Blackheart is getting all his various demons pumped up to go after Ghost Rider. And apparently Exhaust is a creature owned, so to speak, by Blackheart. And that is where the issue ends. Things are definitely getting interesting. I really hope this doesn't end up being one of those runs where the overall arc ends quickly and then there's nothing until someone else decides they want to write a Ghost Rider story. But I guess we'll see. Moving on to our last book for the moment, our last Marvel book for the week, we've got Punisher War Journal, Brother. The Punisher has been working with the Hand as their fist, using the Hand's resources to battle criminals, warmongers, and violent offenders across the globe. Anyway, a group of, let's see what it says, terrorists, mafia bosses, smugglers, mercenaries, gangsters, even a corrupt government or two, have all pooled their money together to put a hit out on Frank. And they're also paying for any tips as well as to where he might be. From the locals. But Frank catches them taking a picture of him, runs after them, and with a child pointing a gun at him. And then a whole bunch of others come after him with guns, and so he basically wades through his everyone and notes that they're being watched by drones. So, however, someone starts taking out the Frank's attackers from a distance. Frank makes his way through. He's there going after a specific person. That being just the last of the Brodskys. But he got it set up so that all the various assassins know that that Frank went into the Brodskys' fortress, and so he's got Brodsky set up, basically with his hands duct taped to a 50 cal, and his feet shackled so that they can't run. However, watching all this unfold, and as well as narrating, well, partially narrating, is the closest thing the Punisher has to a nemesis, Billy Russo, aka Jigsaw. Punisher's plan works, and everyone going after, and all the group present going after him are largely mowed down. The coordinator also gets killed, and Frank and Jigsaw have a bit of a fight, but Frank realizes something's off about Jigsaw. Something in his eyes. Hopped up on something for strength, courage, or pain relief, making him unpredictable. And so Frank smacks Billy in the skull with a baseball bat full of nails, and, well, chucks some grenades, and yeah, seems the place blows up. But Jigsaw's not quite dead, and, well, but probably I would say by the end it seems he almost assuredly is. Frank barely survives the assault. Returning to the Hand's fortress, he's healed, at least partially, and then returns to Maria. And that is where the issue ends. These war journal one-shots are nice, provide some nice side stories from the overarching Punisher story of Punisher working for the Hand. Anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal account in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.